On November 24th, 1971, a man boarded a short flight from Portland to Seattle. He called himself Dan Cooper. Hours later, he would jump from a passenger jet with $200,000 in cash and disappear into the night. He has never been found. Cooper looked ordinary. He wore a dark business suit, a white shirt, a black tie, and carried a briefcase. Shortly after takeoff, he handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. At first, she thought he was giving her his phone number. Then Cooper quietly told her to read it. The note said he had a bomb. When Schaffner sat beside him, Cooper opened his briefcase and showed her what appeared to be wires and red cylinders. His demands were simple: $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting when the plane landed in Seattle. Authorities agreed. When the aircraft landed, the passengers were released in exchange for the money and parachutes. But Cooper stayed aboard. He ordered the pilots to fly south toward Mexico City. Then he made one unusual request. The aircraft had to fly low, slowly, and with its rear staircase lowered. This was important because the Boeing 727 had a staircase underneath the tail that could be opened during flight. At around 8 p.m., somewhere over the Pacific Northwest, the crew noticed a sudden movement in the aircraft. Cooper was no longer in the cabin. The rear staircase was open. Somewhere above the dark forests below, carrying the ransom money, Cooper had apparently jumped from the plane, and then he vanished. The FBI launched one of the most famous manhunts in American history. Investigators searched huge areas of wilderness. They interviewed hundreds of suspects and examined countless theories. But there was no confirmed body, no parachute, and no clear evidence showing where Cooper landed. Then, 9 years later, the case took a strange turn. In 1980, an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram was playing along the Columbia River when he discovered bundles of deteriorating $20 bills buried in the sand. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money. It was the first major physical evidence found outside the aircraft. But instead of solving the mystery, it created even more questions. How did the money reach the river? Did Cooper survive the jump? Did he lose part of the ransom? Or did he die somewhere in the wilderness, leaving the rest of the money undiscovered? Decades of investigation produced suspects, theories, and alleged confessions, but none proved what happened that night. In 2016, the FBI suspended its active investigation. The identity and fate of the man remembered as D.B. Cooper remain unknown. He boarded a plane as an ordinary passenger. He left with $200,000. Then he jumped into the darkness and became one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries.